I got rid of all that other stuff between us. I got rid of I deleted it all. And then I listened to Moonlight Arrow. And then I decided to read. I decided I'm going to try and finish reading The Sea before the end of January. I just thought at the end of the bed when I was listening to something. I thought I'm reading. I've read about 20 pages. I've just counted. I've probably got about another 50 pages to read. I'm getting a bit bored of reading now. But I probably could finish it tonight. I probably could do it. There's a few bits I get so excited and want to share with you, but I just read this bit and thought I would. It's just, I can't remember the other bit was, I just like the way it was worded. This isn't quite so good, but it just mentions a bet. But first of all, this was, blah, 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 blah. Let's just go. Who knows, you're a seaman. I'm a mountain man. The sea's clean, the mountains are high. I think I'm becoming drunk. The sea is not all that clean, said James. Did you know that dolphins sometimes commit suicide by leaping onto the land because they're so tormented by parasites? Wish you hadn't told me that. Dolphins are such good beasts. Even they have the attendant demons. Well, you're off, are you? Let me know when you're back. I'll do that thing. And that reminds me of when I met who did I meet? Carrots and Noel in the Barfly. And I met them on the stairs. I go, I'm going to do that thing. And I think it was Julian goes, what thing? And I go, that thing. I was off my tits. But anyway, I'll do that thing. And he says, I can't understand your attitude to Tibet. To Tibet? Yes, oddly enough. Surely it was just a primitive, superstitious medieval tyranny. Of course it was primitive, superstitious medieval tyranny. And James, who's disputing that? You seem to be. You seem to regard it as a lost Buddhist paradise. You seem to be. You seem to regard it as a lost Buddhist paradise. I never ventured to say anything like this to James before. It must have been for drink. I don't regard it as Buddhist paradise. Tibetan Buddhism was in many ways thoroughly corrupt. It was a wonderful human relic, a last living link with the ancient world, an extraordinary untouched country with a unique texture of religions and folklore. All this has been destroyed deliberately, ruthlessly and unselectively. Such a quick, thoughtless destruction of a past must always be a matter of regret, whatever the subsequent advantages. So you speak as an antiquarian? James shrugged his shoulders. He was examining several moths, which were circling the lamp. You have some splendid moths here. I haven't seen an oak egg for years. Oh dear, I think that poor fellow's had it. Do you mind if I close the windows? What is this? It's The Sea. I told you, I've been reading this for 2 years. I really like it as well. It's just, I'm not always in a reading mood. But what I was thinking, because I've read that much and I've got that much, 50 pages left. I'm going to try and finish this, possibly tonight. And then maybe try and finish Perfume before the end of the month. I was thinking because I'd sent that book to my granddaughter and I made her a bookmark. And then I was thinking, I've got a book on the shelf. I think it's Diary of a Wimpy Kid that I should send to my grandson really, because I could see him, I imagined it, him whining and crying because he didn't get sent a book, even though he probably doesn't like reading, with a bookmark that I'd made. So I might make him one. I was thinking I've got that Diary of a Wimpy Kid and I could send it to him and say, well, this used to be Gaff ones, which is true. And look at him now. He's at home with a grant of Destiny too. Because you know what? He doesn't need to know all of it, does he? At least I'm trying. I think I've read about 20. How many pages have I read? I don't know, quite a lot really. For me. I think 481. That's 40 pages, I think I may have read. Which is good. Good for me. James shrugged his shoulders. He was examining several moths which were circling the lamp. You have some splendid moths here. I haven't seen an oak eager for ages. Oh dear, I think that poor fellow's had it. Do you mind if I close the window? Then they won't come in. He deftly caught the 2 moths and put them outside together with the corpse of their handsome companion and closed the window. I noticed that it stopped raining and the air was clearer. The wind had blown the mist away. Then you were just keen on studying the superstition, I said. I felt that this evening, in spite of our embarrassments, my cousin was more open than me. No, my cousin was more open to me than I had ever known him. It's funny in here as well because I was saying earlier on about, let me just read it. Funny, curious, fearless, and fiercely intelligent. Fiercely intelligent. I said that earlier on, didn't I? Iris Murdoch is one of the great writers of the 20th century. But he's fiercely intelligent, just like his father. Fiercely intelligent, just like Iris Murdoch, more like. Not this again. Yes. Just a cup of tea. I put some socks on as well, so my feet aren't so cold, and I can't stop thinking about Julian Sands sitting in the cold. My feet have warmed up now, though. He might still turn up. It's true. A robin came and showed the way. Let's see what she has to say. She may suggest coordinates. Murdoch. The sea. Vintage classics. The same as you know what. Bloody chamber. Also a vintage classic. What after all is superstition, said James, pouring some more wine into both glasses. What is religion? Where does the one end and the other begin? How could one answer that question about Christianity? But I mean, you're just a student of... Right. What do you mean? I didn't question it. Of course, said James, on whom the wine seemed simply to have effect, speeding his utterance. You're right to keep using the word superstition. Concept of essential. I asked, where does one end and the other begin? I suppose almost all religion is superstition, really. Religion is power. It has to be the power, for instance, to change oneself, and to destroy oneself. That is also its bane. The exercise of power is dangerous to light. Short path is the only path. It's very steep. I thought religious people felt weak and worshipped something strong. That's what they think. The worshipper endows the worshipped object with power. Real power, not imaginary power. That is the sense of the ontological proof of the most ambiguous ideas clever men ever thought of. Then the power is dreadful stuff. Our lusts and attachments compose our God. And one attachment is cast off, another arrives by way of consolation. We never give up pleasure absolutely, we only harbour it for another. All spirituality tends to degenerate into magic, and the use of magic has an automatic nemesis, even when the mind has been purified of gross habits. White magic is black magic, and less than perfect meddling in the spiritual world can prove monstrous for other people. Demons used for good can hang around and make mischief afterwards. This last achievement is the absolute surrender of magic itself, an end of what you call superstition. Yet how does it happen? Goodness is giving up on power and acting upon the world negatively. The good are unimaginable. Perhaps James was drunk after all. I said, well, I don't understand the half of what you say. Maybe I'm just an old-fashioned ex-Christian, but I always thought that goodness was to do with loving people. And isn't that an attachment? Oh, yes, said James. Rather, I thought too casually. Yes, he poured himself out some more wine. We had opened another bottle. All this giving up of attachments doesn't sound to me like salvation and freedom. It sounds like death. Well, Socrates said, we must practice dying. James was now beginning to sound flippant. You yourself, I said. I wanted to hold on to him and bring all this airy metaphysic down to earth, and also to satisfy my curiosity. For once, he was really in a talkative mood. You yourself have loved people, and after all, why not? For God knows who they are. Since you're so damned secretive, you never introduced me to any of your friends from the start. They never visit me. Yes, they do. There was that thin bearded chap I saw in your flat once sitting in the back room. Oh, him, said James. He was just a tulpa. Some sort of inferior tribesman, I suppose. And talking of tulpas, what about that Sherpa and that Toby Ellesmere you were so keen on, and the one that died on the mountain? James was silent for a while, and I began to think that I had gone too far. But then I let the silence continue. The sea was audible but quieter. Oh well, he said. Oh well. And he was silent again. He was clearly going to tell something. So I waited. There's not much to that story, he said, rather disappointingly. Anyway, it's soon told. You know that some Buddhists believe that